sitting here, knowing what I know and listening to some of the comments that have been made. And I'm just going to make a series of statements that are in response to a lot of the things that have been said. The first thing I want to address is the issue of infrastructure and security. If you've been around Africa, you will know that Nigeria has a tremendous amount of infrastructure, even more than a lot of countries in Africa. But we have a huge population. Nigeria is not the rape capital of the world. Nigeria is not the murder capital of the world. But if I bought any of you tickets and I said, hey, hop on a plane and go to those countries, you would go there. So what is this thing? We have an issue with security. We have an issue with transportation. It's not a problem. If you want to see places that have a problem, Google is your friend. Take a look. So we are the ones fueling this narrative about our security issue, our infrastructure issue. I have driven from Abuja to Kano. I've driven from, Lagos, Abuja. I have seen parts of Nigeria. There are bits that the roads are bad. There are bits that security is an issue. It's very unlikely that somebody will shoot you for a smartphone on the streets of Abuja or Lagos. But I know some cities in Africa that you would gladly go to where that is a reality. And you talk about Nigeria. Talk about that. I think developmental journalism and responsible journalism has a question to answer about the image of Nigeria, as well as Nigerians. Think before you post some sensational thing that's going to give you 5 followers on Instagram. Think about the wider implications of what you are saying. It is sad that the managing director of a large Nigerian bank has identified a problem that gives me great concern. That in terms of risk analysis of a tourism project, government is the greatest danger. That is a word that government needs to pay attention to and listen to. In terms of what domestic tourism means versus foreign tourism or international tourism, you talked about the image of the country, the visa, the airport, the road, security, the hotel experience in country, and how that is shared. Ministry of Tourism does not control Ministry of Foreign Affairs, nor FAN, nor works at the infrastructure, nor DSS, nor police. So where is tourism in terms of the command and control that is required to make effective its effect on controlling the experiences of people? Where in the organogram of government is tourism for it to effectively control all these other agencies? That is something we also have to think about. Collaboration, not competition. In 2017, when I arrived here, we had a short-term roadmap called CHIEFS, which is corporate governance and regulation. The law that controls tourism in Nigeria is 27 years old. I tried to repeal it and enable another one. If we don't have a 2020 law for tourism that allows tourism to be treated like a business, who's going to invest in it? How are they going to invest in it? How are they going to come out of it? What are the regulations by agencies like ours, apart from where does tourism exist in the two lists that we have, concurrent or what's the other one called? Those are issues that must be addressed. We have an African Free Continental Trade Agreement. We are a huge market, largest in Africa. We are a huge, revenues are, we're the wealthiest country in Africa. If we don't have the legislative framework that allows us to take advantage of a wider market, we become victims. We become the market. A Chinese company can go into Ghana and has crossed into the Free Continental Trade Agreement and just be shipping stuff through us duty-free. And this was echoed by the Senate President a couple of days ago. You mentioned calendars. A calendar is what you call the EPL fixtures in London. That is the English Premier League. If they say tomorrow that Manchester United is going to play Chelsea in 2027 on Friday the 8th of August. It will happen on that day. Here, there are too many variables. The only people who can put contracts together, and those contracts are held and binding, are private sector entities who own and control the assets that we don't control. The local government, the state government. That is where the packages need to be built. And we talk about packaging. I see a beautiful integration that happened because of a state government. IBOM Air, IBOM Hotels, IBOM Tours. The first place I would probably want to go on holiday, given a short break, would I would take IBOM Air from Abuja to Uyo, get picked up at Uyo Airport, go to IBOM Hotels and Resort. I don't play golf, but I know that they have a fantastic buffet there. Now, how many other packages could be built? 2 years ago, we tried to build my Abuja weekend. Abuja is the cheapest holiday because at the weekend, especially, all the hotels empty out. The airlines, the aircraft are sitting there, not doing very much. That is the time for them to have created a package. And we said we wanted a package for a weekend under a price so we could push our market. We still have not been able to achieve that because the commercial pressures, and especially in terms of the taxation, the fees, the running costs of the hotels, they have not been able to give that forward. As part of the things we said in 2017, we said human capital development. We're not talking about university degrees for tourism and hospitality. We're talking about vocational training. Not a degree, just vocational training, a 1-year training, so that the people who are in tourism are trained for tourism. They can actually deliver what we want them to deliver in the industry. Now you've got COVID compliance and all sorts of things that must come with it. In terms of infrastructure, there are some tourism-related infrastructure that need to be built. But one of them is a tourism satellite account that munches the big data that feeds the companies and the media. And it's not any longer about pamphlets at the airport. The banks know who is spending what where. The telecoms company knows who is moving where. The airlines know who is moving where. All these things are there. It is for government, the levels of government to access them and to process them in a manner that allows, policies to be effected to benefit, the tourism industry. Banks, yes, banks are competing in the food industry at levels they should not be. In the film industry, in the fashion industry, they are killing the middle block that depends. Instead of them to fund the activity, they've taken over the activity, and that was seen in the last 2 years very badly. I remember 2017, Abuja was one thing. By 2018, 2019, Abuja was booming. There was always something to do every weekend. Unfortunately, COVID has come in 2020, but I also believe from the statistics that I am seeing on Google Trends, etc., that Abuja is going to actually accelerate in terms of recovery in tourism beyond any other state in Nigeria, simply because of some of the infrastructure that didn't mean much to us in the past. Now, talking about the future and what the future will hold, technology is important, and digital marketing, skilling of tourism entrepreneurs, marketing skills especially. The focus is going to be on SMEs, the small companies, digital entrepreneurs, like social media, Waka with Debbie, TVP Adventures, etc. The small businesses that are making a difference and are using the digital tools that have made them survive this and will continue to grow in it. I think the focus on that in all the mediums of cultural expression, music, film, fashion, food, even religion to some extent, are things that we will look to push with. I know that the president has finally taken a look at tourism and decided that tourism is a priority sector in this country. I know that the Honorable Minister for Finance and the Director General of the Budget have taken a look at tourism and decided that come 2021, tourism is going to get better access to funding. Now, our focus is domestic, our focus is digital, and our focus is both collaboration in terms of development of human capital and infrastructure. I think if we put those 5 or 6 things on the table together, I think the industry stands a huge chance in comparison to the past in taking a quantum leap forward in terms of where we are, what we are. My advice to the state governments that own infrastructure, the local governments that own infrastructure, and individuals, is this is the time for you to invest, no matter how little it is, in some infrastructure. If it's just toilets, if it's just a viewing area, if it's just grading the road that leads to your facility. Because when the drive and when everything comes together and is pushing, you will be left behind if you have not put even the minute changes that are required to get to some of these places. To sum things up, we must also look at where we are and understand why this is so important. Oil prices are down from where they used to be. The budget is in deficit. There is a recession, whether we like it or not. There's a financial crisis. Forex is scarce. Forex has gone up. Inflation is up. Unemployment is up. And the population is still growing. We don't have a choice but to look at alternative incomes, alternative industries, to invest in them in no matter how limited a way, to start to give traction to those industries to grow. If this is where we are now, and we don't pay attention to this, where will we be in 5 years? Is a question I don't want to answer. Thank you very much.